Chapter 11, The Truth. Hi friend? Yeah, I know ya. I know all the fighters in the ring that call themselves the legends. I call myself Pathfinder. They call me a legend. Hey, they sure do, eh? What a shame. And what brings you here? Kid tells me I need to take this meeting. I don't usually listen to kids when they tell me to do things, but the modder's different. I'm looking for my creator. That ain't me, kid. So you better be looking somewhere else. I got better things to do. I need to know. What you need to do is to get on my bloody face. You hear me? I may not fight for sport, but I have no problem beating the crap out of an old discarded science experiment. Science experiment? You really don't know who you are, eh? I think I do. I think I was created by a group to try to destroy the Outlands. Really? That's quite the bloody claim. Looking to be an apex predator. I think I killed a lot of people. I think I'm a bad guy. I beg to differ, mate. I made a living reading who's good and who's bad, and not caring one way or the other. And looking at you, I can see you're far from someone who can handle being a bad guy. But I could have been reprogrammed to be one. Hey, reprogrammed? You? Not bloody likely. I never met a robot that could be reprogrammed any more than a person. People are impressionable. No loyalty, no pride, no honor. I would know. I'm no different. I think you're different. I never met anybody like you. Oi, that's for sure. That's for bloody sure. Better if you're like me. And that's the problem. We need more like me. More people willing to fight. And I mean really fight. Not put in a show for autographs. Do you not give autographs? I'll give them a fight. The fight is all that matters. The fight is all I care about. All I care about is finding out who created me. My friend Rampart told me you might be able to help, even though I'm very much scared of you. She's one hell of a fighter. The Outlands can use more of her, alright. You really want to know, eh? Yes, please, sir. I think, though I am afraid. Fears for the weak. I can't be weak, and the person who killed the people who saved the Outland. That's very true, mate. That's why it wasn't you. Are you sure? How do you know? Pretty damn sure, because I know him. You know who killed my creator? I know who killed your creator. Or well, creators. What? There are many? How many? Who are they? What happened? They're dead? Slow down, take a breath or whatever it is to you, eh? And take a seat. I might just have what you need. Do you? What is it? Also, the seat is very comfy. There's a hell of a lot of data on this chip. Look it up, see what you get. I could just have it. I don't know you very well, but I know you enjoy money. How much money is this? Hey, I don't bloody care about the money. It's just a way to weed out those who don't really care about what we do. What we do? We fight. We get the job done. I've been doing this for a hell of a long time. Never matter who the job is for. Just that you get it done right. Now, I seen you fight. You're good. Maybe not better than me, but good. And that gets you some respect here. You earned this. Whoa, are you sure? Bloody take it before I change my mind, eh? Okay, this is it. Here it goes. BRTV1 data file date January 2nd, 2658, location Olympus. At a scientific research base on the floating city of Olympus, the Project Iris team was in its 15th year on working tirelessly to protect the future of the Outlands. The base consists of 3 main connected facilities: the comm center, the research lab, and the large storage warehouse. The last home to an advanced experimental form of transportation technology called Phase Runner. One of many breakthrough innovations creating this avant-garde hub to help usher in the new golden era of the frontier. 8 brilliant scientists stood around a lamp connected to a sample of the refined element Branthium, with high hopes that yet another attempt of creating a safe energy source will prove successful. One scientist flipped the switch, a loud hum shook the base and sparks filled the room before the bulb shattered into pieces. The test was a failure. Brothers, I guess today just ain't our day. Alec and Gibraltar said that in defeat. Geologist Emily Paquette chimed in. No, it doesn't make any sense. My plan should have worked. Your plan was wrong from the start. I pointed that out. Must have been 20 times, said Dr. Ashley Reed. These overworked geniuses have been struggling to work together for years, ever since the discovery of Branthium in 2645. Although nicknamed the Group, they were far from unified. Formed by the billionaire humanitarian William Pegg, the group had members who came from different backgrounds and locations through the Outlands, and they all had their own ways of doing things. Excuse me, and what have you done, Reed? Paquette pressed, moving faces to faces with Reed. Besides stand by and criticize our every move while the rest of us do all the said work. Is this how you treated Summers? You're not half the scientist she was. Reed smirked. Butters, come on. Alekin was trying to break the tension when Friends! A young tall man with reddish blonde hair came running in from the other door. I got the report. It's not what we think. I mean, it is what we think, but it's not what we think of. Whoa, everybody okay? I don't know. Are we? Reed sarcastically asked Paquette. We, Paquette said as she stepped away from Reed and towards the overly excited young man. What do you have for us, kid? It's the report from the Branthium test. Honestly, I think the solution isn't as complicated as we thought it would be. He unfurled a 50-sheet stream of paper. It worked, Dr. Paquette. It worked. Curious, the others gathered around the young man. Dr. Conan Shelley, a constantly sweating engineer with a matching handlebar mustache, grabbed one end of the report and began reading. Dr. Armand Fletcher, the only medical doctor of the group, cleaned the few drops of ice cream he had just finished off his fingers before he stepped in for a closer look. Anastasia de Oliveira, a mechanical engineer, gave the lucky bottle opener she wore around the neck a good hopeful squeeze before examining the report. Professor Emilia Delgado, who was the shortest of the group with glasses the size of dinner plates, jumped ineffectually as she struggled to see over Alekin's massive form. "I can't see what's going on," she asked before Alekin in one smooth motion turned, picked her up, and dropped her in the center. "Thank you, Alekin." "No problem, little brother." He smiled as he turned his focus on the report. "I can't make heads or tails of this. What's it say?" "It seems our little intern here has pointed out something that none of us had taken into consideration," Paquette explained as she continued to read the report. "The problem is not the refinery chamber, or said equations, or even say equipment. The problem is us." "Us?" Shelley questioned. "Maybe it's just you, Paquette. You should speak for yourself," Reed lashed out. "No, she's right," Delgado chimed in. "It appears that the refinery needs continuous calibrations, and we can't do that remotely. We're not fast enough, and we can't go inside that chamber. It's too dangerous." "Hey, I can only work so fast. It's not my fault." Shelley becomes defensive, gestures towards his nearby workstation. "I'm over here sweating my butt off trying to recalibrate this thing." "Brother, we know. It ain't your fault. It just isn't enough. We need someone inside." "Inside? Are you crazy?" Fletcher shouted. "There's no way. The moment you go in there, you're fried." "Then we don't," Reed interrupted. "Who says we have to go in there?" "What are you suggesting?" Paquette asked. Reed walked over to Marvin, one of the many working at the base, and gave it a long predatory look. "This would do." "Marvin, you gotta be joking," Fletcher chuckled. "Those spots can barely polish my boots, let alone recalibrate and activate a refinery." Wait, hold on. Dr. Reed may be onto something. The room became quiet. When it came to robotic engineering, Stay was the expert, and when she started talking, everybody knew to listen, especially when she picked up her bottle opener and pressed it on her lips. She stepped closer to the Marvin, lightly pushing Reed aside. "We can do this. Yeah, I'll take some time and it won't solve all our problems, but we can do this. Hey, Alekin, does Setter still use the heat shield tech for your rescue shuttles, the old IMC brand?" "Sure do. I can probably score some, but we're gonna need something tough to reinforce it. The temperature inside the refinery are high enough to melt the face of a Titan. Any ideas?" Alekin scanned the room. "Well, I can reach out to my contacts at Hammond Robotics," Reed suggested. "Wow, you know people at Hammond Robotics? You know everybody, Dr. Reed," the young intern exclaimed. "Oh, I'm not a fan of Hammond Robotics. They scare me," Delgado stammered as she cleared her glasses. "They're so full of secrets, hard to trust them, you know." "Hard to trust anybody associated with the IMC for that matter," added Shelley. "This isn't time to be picky. It's the fate of the Outlands after all," Reed smiled. "She's right," Paquette said as the whole group turned to listen. "We cannot just rely on the fake foundation to keep us going. If we can reach out to the others, we could get these things done. And for the Outlands," she paused and looked at the young intern, "and for the Summers. Without her, we wouldn't have made it this far." "All right, let's get ready to build a robot," they shouted. "I'll draw up some schematics. Reach out to your suppliers, anything you can think of, and maybe think of some names. Can't hurt to personalize this thing." The group began to disperse. "See, all we needed to do is work together. Eh, Paquette?" Reed made sure to get the last word on her counterpart before she left the room. Alekin, who overheard the exchange, joined Paquette at her side. "Don't worry, we'll be okay. Let's just keep an eye on her. We, brother. Now cheer up, your experiment worked." He gave the Marvin a long look. "And with this thing, we'll be on the right path. I'm sure of it. The sun shines again." "Hey, excuse me," the young intern nervously says, trying to get their attention. "Hey, there he is," Alekin responded. "What's up?" Paquette asked. I just want to say thanks for listening to me, with the report and not just blowing me off," he said. "I would never do that. I'm glad you're here. You did good work today, Newton. Your mom would have been proud." The young intern, Newton Summers, smiled and replied, "Thanks, friends. BRTV2, data files, date February 4, 2658, location Olympus." Over the next course of months, the group pieced together all the components needed to modify the Marvin base on Stay schematics. Alekin reached out to his friends at Ceros. Fletcher received shipments of robotic surgical equipment from his friends at the IMC. Reed contained reinforced material from Hammond Robotics, and Paquette got in touch with Peck Offworld. who managed to grab new financial partnerships with Chevrex Inc. and Silva Pharmaceuticals. You sure about sis? Bringing in these people? Paquette and Delgado were waiting for the others to join them in the laboratory. I don't know, but it's been good so far, right? Tell Sats the new security details. Adonis Squad. Paquette gestured towards an armed guard who was completing his security check at a nearby computer console. Just feels like a military operation now, she quietly said. You're all clear, Dr. Paquette. You're good to go. Commander Alstern approached the two scientists. Thank you, Commander, Paquette replied with a hint of suspicion. Ah, yes, I am military, but this is your operation. We're just here to help. He gave a nod before leaving. See, they're just keeping us safe. It's a good thing. Besides, they can't get in without one of us anyway. And hey, think of it this way. More people believe in us when we say that the energy crisis is actually a serious problem. I hope you're right. Me too. How's it going, ladies? Ready for the big day? Stay entered the lab, pulling a cart full of heavily built robotic parts. Damn, this thing's heavy. Need some help, Stay. Paquette stepped forward and lent a hand. You really think this is going to work? Always the skeptic. APAC. Reed answered as she entered the lab, followed by Newton, Alekin, Shelley, and Fletcher. Just making sure we dot our is and cross our its. I think we're good, Reed responded. Good? I think we're great, brothers. Alekin, who clearly was not worried, let out a great big belly laugh. This is it. We earned this together. Before they could protest, he squished Paquette and Reed into a bear hug. Who knew it would be a moment to bring us all together, right? Reed and Paquette gasped for breath before breaking free. Alekin laughed before pointing towards Delgado. I'm not forgetting you, little one. Oh no. She smiled and ran away. Alright, enough goofing around. Let's get started, State laughed, as she took out each part of the Marvin and laid them on the table for assembling. We got a birthday to celebrate. The eager bunch surrounded the table with each their own equipment and notepads. Sprayed out on its surface was the shell of the new Marvin. Broad shoulders, a large body, and a bacon square shaped space in the chest with 5 cables hooked up to a nearby computer monitor. Stayed dumb. A crate of cables and wires on top. Here it is. Shelly laughed. So not only are you going to replace me with a machine, but you're acting like it's a person now. Shut up. Millie Delgado gave him a little shove. He's beautiful. I can't wait to meet him. I wonder what he's going to be like. It's a Marvin, Delgado. Marvins aren't any different than a power drill, Reed asserted. Not this one, Reed. Stay began to clamp all the parts together, starting down the feet. You see, this ain't your regular Marvin. She reached for a wrench in the toolbox next to Fletcher. While I was inside this thing, I took some liberties and got a little creative with his programming. Stay tightened the clamps on both legs, connecting them to the feet. With a few puffs of air, the feet perform a self-diagnosis, rotating back and forth. You sure Sat is safe? Absolutely. Just gave a friend here a voice. He's part of the group after all. Stay moved to attach the legs to the body. Whoa, a voice? I wonder what he's going to sound like. Newton's eyes widened. I'm glad you asked, kid. That's up to us. I figured we might as well put something from each of us inside him. Stay tightened 2 wires together, which resulted in one of the Marvin's legs kicking straight up, nearly missing Newton's head. Whoa, sorry about that. Why will we do that? Reed asked, confused. Ain't it obvious, brother? We're the best minds in the Outlands, yet from day one our biggest problem was trusting each other. I know at first I thought Shelly was a hothead with an attitude. Hey, Shelly shouted. It's true, but so am I. It ain't easy being a genius in a room of geniuses, so instead of butting heads all the time, let's just push it all together. What you saying, Stay? Alekin confirmed. Yeah, pretty much. We're not just making a tool here, you know. We're making a member of the group. With his help, we're going to do some good for the Outlands. Of course, it'll take a little longer than just programming the basics. Longer? Reed interjected. Wait, what do you mean longer? How much longer? Whoa, calm down. I mean, it's going to take at least the rest of the year to train this Marvin. Teach him how to do things. Monitor him as we continue Peck's tests. Why? Why do we have to do that? Reed looked around the room. Am I the only one who thinks that's crazy? I can't wait any longer, and I'm certainly not waiting for some robot to learn my name. You can't wait any longer. Paquette stepped closer to Reed. This isn't about you, Reed. This isn't about any of us. It's about everybody outside. We can't rush this. What is it, Paquette? Afraid your plan may not work? I'd rather get it right the first time. Let's not forget, the Marvin was your idea in the first place, and it was a good idea, but it's not done yet. Stays right. Sees Marvin needs to experience and acknowledge Sats we all have. He will be alone in Sat Refinery. We can't help him, so he needs to know how to solve any problem he might run into. Paquette paused and looked at the Marvin. He's our failsafe. Whatever, I got work to do. Let me know when you're done fooling around. Reed huffed as she stormed out of the lab. Should I go after her? Asked Newton. She seems sad. Go ahead, Newt. We'll call you when we're ready for you, said Paquette. The rest of the group lent their help to assemble the barbin. Stay handed Paquette the welder, and together they attached the arms in one fell swoop. Once at full power, the fingers of the barbin hands extended and retracted, leaving only one final piece to be added. And here's his beautiful face, they said proudly as she held up the newly remodeled barbin head with bright yellow arches on top of the bottom of his circular face. All he needs is some final reprogramming and we can power him up in no time. She carefully locked the head in place and stood back. So, who wants to go first? She stared at each of the 5 remaining members of the group. I will, volunteered Fletcher. Can't hurt to give the little guy, well, the big guy some medical expertise. Also, maybe give him a sweet tooth while you're at it, joked Alekin. Hey, nothing wrong with that, Fletcher said as he walked up to the programming computer. Speaking of which, you said birthday, right? We should probably get some cake and ice cream in here. Stat, he said, laughing at his own joke. Sure thing. All you gotta do is enter your password to open up Project Iris files here. Stay instructed, pointing at the monitor. The system will do the rest, but if you want to do anything manually, just pick whatever you want to be integrated into his programming and you can add it up here. She pointed to a select label of personalities. And have fun with it. We're creating life here. As they started to pack up the tools, Paquette joined her. I'm assuming you added some precautions to said program in case anything was to happen, she whispered. He can't be hacked if that's what you're asking, P. Stay assured her as she packed away a welder. That's not what I'm talking about. Paquette's expression showed a deep look of concern and hesitation. You really don't trust her, do you? Suyu. Summers was the best astrologist in the entire frontier. It doesn't make any sense what happened to her. The story don't add up. I just want to make sure we cover all our bases. He's supposed to save the Outlands, right? Let's make sure that happens. So what did you have in mind? Remember what Zay Hammond always used to say. Always have a failsafe, Stay recalled. Yeah, and look what happened to him. Just keep in mind, that's all I ask. Stay saw the anguish in Paquette's eyes and nodded. Then turned back to the others. The guard was enthusiastically typing away at the computer's keyboard. I'm going to make him like Prowlers and love music and love. Sure, but may throw some of your physics genius in there, Stay suggested. That Marvin's going to have to navigate inside the refinery, potentially blind from all the fumes. He's going to need some of that sweat they got of knowledge if he's going to survive in there. You got it, Stay. How exciting. From across the room, Alekin, sensing Paquette's concern again, walked over to her. He rested his heavy hand on her shoulder and spoke in a hushed tone. You know, you're gonna worry yourself to death, brother. Better me than the entire Outland. I just want my best for my leader Luke. He's lucky to have you, but who isn't? You're going to save the Outlands one way or another. I'm sure of it. Thanks, Alekin. Now, speaking of children, it's your turn, and this little Pathfinder can use some of your witty charm, don't you think? He grinded. She chuckled. Okay. She softened a bit and approached the computer. A few hours later, the project was nearing completion. Alekin, Paquette, Fletcher, Delgado, Shelley, Reed, and Newton huddled around Stay as she finalized the programming. She was just about done when Paquette called out to stop her. Wait a minute, Newton, did you add anything? He doesn't need to add anything, Reed interjected. He can answer for himself. He's part of Z's group just as much as you are, Reed. Go ahead, buddy. Add something, Stay said as she stepped back from the computer. Newton smiled and began typing. A lot of what I had to offer is what my mom had, and I think most of that's already here, but there's one thing that was always important to my mom. She loved her friends. It's important to me too. You're all my friends, but especially you, Dr. Reed. Newton looked at her. You're always there for my mom, just like this Marvin's going to be for the Outlands. Reed did her best to smile, but it ended up more like a quick nod. Thanks, she said hesitantly. I think it's great, shouted Delgado. Now let's wake him up. Yeah, I think that's everybody, Stay concluded. Unless... She glanced at Reed while catching a worried look from Paquette. I think we got plenty, Reed said. Yeah, Paquette added quickly. Oh, come on, we're all part of the group. Something, anything, Newton begged. And with a deep exhale of defeat, Reed quickly walked over to the monitor and hit one button before stepping back. The group surrounded the monitor, eagerly interested to see what she typed. Seriously, Stay asked. That's some effort, coughed Paquette. Shelley came to Reed's defense. I like it. It's simple. Now we're cooking, brothers. Nothing brightens your day better than looking at something like that. Alekin chuckled and tapped on the top of the monitor, which displayed a big yellow smiley face. Are we ready now? Can we wake him up? Delgado asked eagerly. Yes, we are, Stay responded, typing away on the keyboard. Just give me a few seconds. The computer powered up and sparks of energy traveled through every cable linked to the Marvin. His parts began to activate piece by piece. First the arms, then the legs, and lastly the head, where a blue glow illuminated from the single center eye. Next, Stay unhooked the computer monitor and small keyboard from their stand, collect the 5 loose cables and packed it all neatly into the vacant chest. It fits perfectly, like the final piece of a puzzle. She reached out for a yellow handlebar attached to computer monitors and gripped it tightly. Here we go! With a single pull, she locked everything into place all around the table. The group waited with anticipation. Stay flipped the switch and activated the Marvin. A defining hum of power filled the room. Part by part, the robot's limb began to move, and with a single loud spark of energy, the Marvin sat upright the table and spoke. Who doesn't like ice cream? Every kid likes ice cream. His voice was cheerful, almost childlike, and welcoming. Whoops, a little too much Fletcher in there, Stay explained before adjusting the chest monitor. That should do it. The Marvin shook his head and gave the room a good scan before focusing on 8 humans surrounding him. Who are you? His chest monitor turned on a display of a question mark. We're your creators, Delgado declared through her ear-to-ear. Ryan, with a blimp, the chest monitor replaced the question mark with a big yellow smiley face. Hi, creators! BRTV3, data file, date, December 25th, 2658, location, Olympus. All roads lead to Branthium, Delgado shouted as she popped the cork of a nice bottle of champagne, which sprayed all over her colleagues. Shelly standing next to her. Oops, sorry. He licked some of the beverages off his lips. Delicious, he said cheerfully. Hey, we have to get soaking champagne every time we finish a shipment. So be it. Let's drink. He helped out his glass for a pour, followed by the other members of the group, who circled up in the command center. But Kat, how about a speech? Stay suggested, giving a playful nod to her friend. Yes, brother, let's hear it. Alekin chimed in with his glass raised high, but not everybody was excited to hear what she had to say. Sure, let's hear from our fearless leader, Reed said sarcastically under her breath. But Kat heard Reed's comments but didn't bother her. She walked over the giant window overlooking the refinery. I think we're missing a member in the group, don't you? She said, pressing a button to open communications. Pat, can you hear us? Hi, creator friends, I can hear you. And you sound great, Pathfinder responded from the inside of the refinery. He had been working there for the last 10 hours, hoping to successfully complete the first patch of Branthium. Let's put him on the screen. Delgado gleefully ran over to her workstation and activated visual communications on a large monitor above the window. Exciting! Exciting! Pathfinder repeated, now able to see everybody. Parfait, Paquette raised her glass for a cheer. Thanks you all for believing in this plan, for believing in me. But let's not forget Dr. Mary Summers and her son. She looked at young Newton, who whipped a bittersweet tear from his eye. It was her and Peck's works that brought us here today to create the first patch of Branthium, one of many that would not end the crisis, but will power the Outlands for generations to come. We have saved lives here today, and if that's not enough, I fortunately thank each and every one of you for your contribution. She scanned the room and landed on Reed. Even you, Reed. Let's not forget whose idea was to build the friendly Marvin. Thanks, me, Pathfinder pointed out. Reed rolled her eyes before glancing at her wristwatch. Yes, now we're ready to get on with it to save the Outlands. To see Outlands, Piquet cheered, clinging her glass with the others before sitting down at her workstation. The group dispersed, settling into their respective spots to prepare for the first transport of Branthium. Shelly checked in. Pathfinder, you good in there for a few more hours? Can we get you going for a second patch? Yes, I am. I'll get back to work. This is fun. Pathfinder deactivated the monitor before returning to duty. I put in a call for Peck earlier this morning, so she's standing by for the first shipment. Piquet raised her right hand on the sensor, scanned it, turning the monitor green and displaying the words waiting for pair. Ready, Stay. You know it. Stay walked up to her own workstation and placed her hand on the sensor, which changed to the words pair accepted. Face runner activated. Dr. Reed, let's lock down the warehouse and prepare for... But Kate cut herself off, confused. Damn it, where's Reed? She looked around to see 2 members of the group missing. Wait, where's Newton? She asked, jumping out of her seat before noticing the open exit door. Before she could ask about it, Reed walked through, followed by heavy armed guards with automatic weapons, knives, swords, and riot gear. I don't believe that's the question you should be asking me right now, Paquette, she smirked, brandishing a pistol of her own phone and aiming at it at the doctor. In a risky move, Paquette raised her hand quickly to the sensor, which put the command station on emergency lockdown. The lights dimmed and red lights illuminated the room. Ugh, must you play these games? Reed puffed before walking across the room and delivering a blow to Paquette's head with the butt of the pistol, rendering her unconscious. Paquette came to about 10 minutes later to find herself huddled on the ground in a corner with the other members of the group. Armed guards surrounded them. Reed was hunched over a computer, struggling to break through the security message of the lockdown initiated by Paquette. "Why can't we just shut it down?" she shouted angrily at the guard beside her. Paquette locked eyes with Stay and spoke quietly. "What's going on?" She moved closer. "What's happened?" "Quiet," Stay whispered. "She's been trying to break through the lockdown, but she's got to know she needs a pair." "How did this happen?" Paquette asked, holding her head wound. "She must have paid off the squad," Stay guessed. "That ain't a donut squad. I know the IMC, they're cruel, but they're not like this. These are mercs," Fletcher added. "That logo, Apex Predators." "Then what happened to the squad?" Stay asked. "They're guarding outside the facility, probably blindsided them," Shelly said. "This was her plan from the beginning," Paquette concluded, but her whispering caught Reed's attention. She spun around and approached her former colleague menacingly. "Look who decided to wake up. Welcome to your nightmare, Paquette. I knew it. I knew it from the start. You killed her, didn't you?" "I did nothing." "Yeah, right. You killed Summers. You put yourself before every innocent life in the Outlands." "Innocent life, please. The Outlands are filled with nothing but war and greed. No one cares for anybody but themselves. I'm just playing the game." "Have you told that to Newton? Where is he?" "He's not part of this. Not anymore. I took care of him. Right now, it's just us. And I guess there's only one way to do this. My hand and one of yours. So who's it going to be?" She walked down the line of the group. "Who's going to let me in?" She moved over to the station and put her hand to the sensor. "Anybody want to play?" The group looked at each other, unsure if one of them would volunteer to provide the second hand required to unlock the security system and open access to the Brantium storage warehouse. Knowing there was little choice, Paquette stood up. "Dr. Reed," she said, ignoring the rumblings of protest from her colleagues. All objected except for one. Stay gave Paquette a reassuring look and quick nod. "This will be interesting. I'll accept this treat," Reed agreed, stepping back and revealing the bacon hand sensor. "No treat," Paquette smiled back. "No anything. Not for you, Reed. You're not getting anything from us." "This is inspiring." Reed stepped closer to Paquette, pushing aside the mercenaries guarding them. "But lucky for me, I don't ask, I take." And with a single swift motion of her arm, Reed pulled the sword out of one of Merc's holsters and slid off Paquette's right hand. Before it hit the ground, Reed caught it in mid-air. Paquette crumbled, screaming in pain. As Reed carried her bloody, motionless hand to the station that held it in front of the sensor, the lights in the room turned back to normal and all blast doors opened, revealing the bridge to the warehouse. "Bring the rest of them with us. Leave that one to bleed out." "You bitch!" Paquette gasped. Reed laughed. "Yeah, maybe." She waited as her armed mercenaries ushered the other members of the group out of the room. "Nice working with you, Paquette." Before leaving the room, Reed shot the control panel next to the door, shutting and locking it behind her. Left alone, Paquette strongly managed to apply a tourniquet to her arm and put it in a makeshift sling. She crawled to the door leading to the warehouse and attempted to activate the panel, but it was too badly damaged. The door was jammed shut. With her back against the door, she sat in defeat. The loss of blood slowly caught up to her. Her eyelids became too heavy to keep open, but she fought the pain and tried to look around the room for anything that she could do. Any option, any idea, any sign of hope. Tap, tap, tap. The sound drew Paquette's attention to the window overlooking the refinery, where a metallic finger tapped from the other side. "Hi, friend, are you okay?" Pathfinder peered curiously at his creator, revealing himself. "Pathfinder," Paquette said, unsure if she was seen was real. "Is that you?" Using all the strength of her legs, she pushed herself up against the wall and to her feet. "Are you okay?" she asked, walking over the window. "Yes, but are you?" "No, something bad happened. Something really bad. Dr. Reed, she locked the whole facility down. Wait, how did you manage to get out?" Pathfinder looked down at his chest screen, which displayed the words Failsafe initiated. "Stay, she made you see Failsafe. You have OD override. That's how she got out." Paquette's mind raced as she began to realize what the Failsafe program was designed to. "You don't need a pair. She's a genius, and she knew Reed was up to something. But what? Why?" And just then, an automated voice announced throughout the whole facility. "Face Runner activated." Paquette pieced it together. "Oh no, she's going to use a Face Runner. She's going to steal C Branthium. We can't let her go. In the wrong hands, anybody can control the Outlands. No one should have that much power. It belongs to the people. Exhausted and soaked with her own blood and sweat, Paquette pushed herself closer to the window, face to face with Pathfinder. On the other side, these energy sources crucial to our survival, but in the wrong hands, it will destroy us. We need you. Your existence is proof that the Outlands can survive together. Paquette looked at him proudly and raised her only hand to the glass. Pathfinder imitated the motion, but when he did, a user interface display appeared digitally on the window, accompanied by the words Station Self-Destruction Authorization Transferred. You are a Pathfinder. We made you for a great purpose. What about you? He asked. I'll be fine. I'm going to get help. You have to stop her. Do you understand? Yes, I do. The two removed their hands from the glass, which activated the self-destruct countdown of 15 minutes and opened the command center exit doors leading outside the Olympus. Good luck, friend, Paquette said, as hopeful tears filled her eyes. Inside the storage warehouse, a dozen mercenaries prepared the Branthium shipment for transport. The room was very large, with hundreds of 5-foot-long containers marked Branthium from wall to wall. At one end of the bridge connecting to the command center, at the other was a 20-foot-tall ring with an illuminating light blue vortex of energy coming from its mouth, the Phase Runner. Right in front of it, leading up to the entrance, was a long rectangular platform made of metal grating, upon which stood a computer console. Before it stood Reed. Yes, we made the adjustments to the Phase Runner. I'll have plenty of power in range to reach you, she said into the communication device. And we have our payment? Good. She ended the conversation and looked down at her mercenaries. We're in business. The Phase Runner is almost up. Get the crane ready. The mercenaries moved to operate a robotic crane, position it over one of the Branthium containers. Once activated, the crane would automatically transfer the container to a conveyor belt that led to the mouth of the Phase Runner. Reed walked over to the other side of the platform, where the other members of the group sat on their knees, guarded by more mercenaries. So you're all geniuses, but which one of you can help me boost the range of this machine? Anyone? She asked pleasantly. Screw you, shouted Kelly. You've been working here longer than any of us. Use your own genius and figure it out. We're all done helping you cheat in life. Please, cheating is the only way to win in life. And whether or not you choose to resist, I'll always win. Reed ordered a mercenary to follow her. You come. Just find a way to boost the range. This thing's got to make it to Gridiron. Gridiron? Alakin laughed. Are you joking, brother? You can't make it that far. You will fail, Stay expressed confidently. Oh, Reed casually walked over to Stay and leaned down to speak right in her face. You know, I must thank you. Yes, this took much longer than expected, but without your help, I wouldn't have been able to turn the black hole rock into power. And Paquette, can't forget her. I'm glad she decided to lend me a hand. Stay spit in Reed's face, who retaliated by smacking her to the ground. But before she could do any more damage, the lights in the warehouse went dark. The Phase Runner deactivated completely and silence filled the room. What the hell is going on? Reed's echo shouted throughout the room. Hey! A mercenary yelled from the other end of the warehouse before a crash of gunfire. Anderson! Status! Reed's command was answered with silence. Go check it out, she ordered the other mercenaries nearby. There! I see something! By the bridge! A confused mercenary pointed throughout the darkness. Reed squinted until she spotted the silhouette of a tall figure with hard right angles. She knew that silhouette. It's just a Marvin! One of the mercenaries brushed it off with a laugh. The Failsafe, they spoke under her breath, but just loud enough for Reed to hear. Failsafe, what did you do? Reed shouted angrily at the group before sending orders to her mercenaries. Kill that damn thing, kill it! But before either one could raise their weapons, both were taken out with two quick single shots. Reed's eyes darted from one platform to the next, searching for the Marvin in question. Failsafe, who's got the failsafe? She muttered under her breath. Chaos had taken over, so Reed decided to take matters into her own hands. Major, I'm getting the runner back up. You call in your backup and find that Marvin, she ordered, turning on the flashlight and running over to the computer console. Stay smiled at Fletcher. Good thing you added that combat experience to his program, huh? Shut up, Reed yelled from across the platform. Why are they talking? Why are you allowing them to talk? She stormed towards the mercenaries guarding the group, pulling her sword out and pointing at it at one of them. They are not allowed to speak. They're not allowed to blink. They're not allowed to do anything, and if they do, shoot them. If you don't, I will, and then I'll kill you. Got it? The mercenaries nodded understanding, but the order caused Alekin to burst out in laughter. Are you serious? Don't blink? His laughter faded and transitioned to more serious tone. He'll find you, and he'll kill you. One way or the other, it's what I would do, and he's part of me. I said don't blink. Reed lifted her sword for an attack, but a round of gunfire knocked the sword out of her hand and took out one of the mercenaries. Swinging from the hook of the crane, Pathfinder came out of nowhere and slammed Reed across the platform. Alekin stood up, grabbed a hold of the other mercenary, and tossed him over the platform's railings. He picked up a gun from the ground and helped the others. Just then, the lights turned back on. The phrase runner had reactivated. Where'd she go? State questioned. Noticing Reed had disappeared, the mercenaries opened fire and filled the room with bullets and smoke. We'll hold them off, brothers. You just shut that thing down. Yes, sir. Pathfinder gave a thumbs up and ran across the platform to the computer console, throwing a few punches at the mercenaries in his way. Sorry, friends, but you had to go. Stray bullets filled the air, occasionally hitting Pathfinder, but they barely dented his reinforced metal casing. When he entered the monitor, it read, Destination, Gridiron, power exceeding safety parameters. He inserted a device that extended out on his right wrist to connect directly to the computer, attempting to shut down the Face Runner, which had just hit maximum power. Face Runner, ready to transport. Shut it down, State yelled to Pathfinder as she took out the mercenary in front of her with the rifle. You need to shut it down. You hear me, Path? I need you to hurry. Consumed with the sounds of his creators violently fighting for their lives, he struggled to focus. The noise intensified to almost deafening levels, and throughout the chaos, he spotted Stay, who felt silent. With her eyes locked on Pathfinder, 2 bullets pierced her chest, immediately followed by 2 more. She dropped to the ground. Stay! Alekin smacked the mercenary in the face as he ran through the sea of the battle to help, but it was too late. She was gone. Pathfinder, frozen like a metal statue, watched his creator die in front of him, unable to do anything about it. His chest screen scrambled through pages of programming to find the right emotion, but couldn't, until Alekin's tears fell as he held Stay in his arms. Pathfinder's screen stopped and mimicked what he saw, displaying the image of sadness through a mournful blue version of his usual cheerful face. What a shame. Out of all of them, she's the one I dislike the least. Reed drew Pathfinder's attention back to the platform. And this one, secondly, she said, holding a sword to Delgado's neck. Let's not play games. Step away from the console, or I'll make little Delgado here extra little. She squeezed the sword, pressing it closer to the skin. That's my friend, he pleaded. Please, no one is your friend. You're a machine. Nobody cares about machines. Nobody loves machines. You're no different than that Face Runner. You're Marvin. We use you and turn you off when we're done. You're nothing. Now again, step away from the console. Small bites of red blood dropped from the blades of Delgado's white lab coat. Conflicted, Pathfinder stood down and slowly backed away, dropping his head in guilt, until, Delgado tried to speak through her fear. Oh, you're trying to stand up for something. Cute, Reed said, loosening the sword. She took a deep breath. Loved him. With the tip of her elbow, Delgado rammed Reed's leg, who dropped. And he's not nothing. He's my friend. With a headbutt to Reed's gut, Delgado broke Reed to safety. Pathfinder looked up and took this opportunity to attack, hitting the sword out of Reed's hand and off the platform. You killed my friend! He pressed closer, picking up Reed and tossing her across the platform. I think you made a mistake, he said, and his chest screen grew red with anger. I did. I should have never created you, Marvin. Reed regained her balance. I know my creator, and you're not them, friend. He stopped himself and continued. You're not even my friend. That's for damn sure. She quickly pulled out her pistol and shot Pathfinder, deactivating his leg. See, what did I say? Just the machine. As he struggled to stand on one leg, she shot again, taking out his right arm. Good thing I paid attention to the schematics, machine. Sparks flew from out of his body, began to twitch as she stepped closer, aiming the gun point blank at his chest. Don't blame yourself. Blame them. She nodded towards her former colleagues who continued their attempt to hold off the mercenaries. Pathfinder watched each of his creators struggle to stay alive as the mercenaries overpowered them one by one. They're all you. You're all them. It's a shame you didn't have more of me in you. Maybe that would have made you a... Reed's eyes opened wide and looked down at her chest to see the end of a sharp blade poking clean through her. She tried to speak but couldn't and fell to the ground to reveal Paquette behind her, holding the sword. "A bitch," Paquette said, finishing Reed's sentence before helping Pathfinder on his feet. Friend, he said through his slightly glitching computerized voice. "Did we win?" He looked out for his creators, who successfully finished taking out the remaining mercenaries with the help of surviving members of Adonis Squad. Commander Alstern, who had a bandage wrapped around his head. "Dr. Paquette, that's all of them. Your orders?" he asked, but was answered by faint laughter nearby. "Oh, is it?" On the floor, bleeding out, Reed dragged herself from the railing, laughing between bloody coughs. "What the hell is she talking about?" Shelly asked, joining. Paquette and Pathfinder on the platform, followed by the others. "I don't know, Commander." Paquette looked to the soldiers for clarification. An uneasy silence filled the room. He put his fingers on his lips. They listened cautiously and heard nothing until, "Lock it down," Commander Storm shouted. Seconds before, an onslaught of gunfire erupted from the other end of the warehouse. He returned fire directly towards the bridge entrance doorway. The others joined as and Paquette launched for the computer console and activated the security lockdown. A blast door closed off the entryway. "You're not going to survive this," Reed taunted Paquette, "especially now." She turned her sights to Commander Stern, who lay on the ground shot dead. "Brothers, I don't know about this one." Alekin held up his weapon, aiming at the blast door that had begun to shaking with the pounding coming from the other side. "Pound, pound." "I don't know how long that door can last," Fletcher said. As the door shook, dents began to puncture. "Pathfinder, how much time is left?" Paquette asked as the others slowly gathered around and looked at Pathfinder. Confused, with a blimp, his chest screen displayed countdown. 5 minutes, 13 seconds. Failsafe initiative. The pounding on the blast door grew louder as the timer proceeded to count down, second by second. The group looked at each other, but no response was needed. There was an understanding of what they had to do, and before the countdown had fallen below 5 minutes, their fears had turned to acceptance of the sacrifice they were ready to take together. "You would rather die than give up the Branthium?" Reed laughed. "You really are fools." Her neck went limp and her eyes lost focus as the life left her body. "Actually, we don't have to give it up," Pathfinder interjected. "What are you talking about, Pat?" Paquette asked. "Pound, pound." Small cracks appeared as the door began to lose integrity. "The Face Runner!" Limping, he joined Paquette at the console. "Dr. Reed extended the range to reach planet Gridiron very far away." He began reprogramming the Face Runner. "But by redistributing the power, we could target every nearby planet in the Outlands at once." Face Runner power distributing. New destination: Planet Solus, Gaia, Samate, Talos. The announcement continued to list off locations through the Outlands. "See? We can all escape. We can all survive." "We can't, but you can," Legato pointed out. She's right, Paquette confirmed. "Humans can't survive a face like that, but you can make it." "Alone?" Pathfinder asked, confused. "Pound, pound." "We're running out of time," Shelly warned. "I don't want to say goodbye. You're my friends. I'll be sad without my friends." "You'll never be without us. You'll never be alone," Paquette pointed out. "That's one thing Reed was right about. We're a part of you, and we always be a part of you." "It's true," Legato added, standing the tallest she's ever stood. And without a single tear in her eye, she grasped Paquette's hand. "Through you, we'll live forever." "That's what makes you so special, brother. You're nothing but genius and heart, and that's a big ray of sunshine if you ask me." Alekin held on to Legato, followed by Fletcher and Shelly. "Even stay," Paquette smiled. "She lives on in you now. We can't let that go to waste. The Outlands need you. Go save them." Pathfinder's just screamed blimp with his yellow smiley face as he raised his hand in front of the console hand sensors and activated to transport. One by one, the Branthium containers were pulled into the swirling vortex of the Face Runner. Pound, 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 smash. The mercenaries broke through the door, but the group didn't budge. Gunfire shot towards the Face Runner. As Pathfinder moved into position, he turned to face his creators, who looked on proudly. "We love you, Pathfinder," Paquette smiled. "I love you, family." Pathfinder waved goodbye before an overwhelming force of the Face Runner took him away, followed by the very last container of Branthium. Face Runner transport complete. The group watched until every speck of the glimmering blue light dissipated, leaving an empty hole, still and quiet, until the charging mercenaries surrounded the group and drew their weapons. "Sorry, brothers, but I think you're too late." Suddenly, the growing sound of detonations filled the room. "Or maybe you're right on time. And with that, an explosion erupted throughout Olympus, initiating the residual branthium in the refinery and resulting in a catastrophic destruction. Throughout the Outlands, containers of branthium randomly appeared in cities, towns, and planets with no explanation. Very few knew where they came from, and no one knew how they got there. The story and the lives of those who sacrificed themselves were lost, but the Outlands were saved, all thanks to the courage and tenacity of a group of geniuses and a single Marvin who put hope, love, and kindness above all else. Hey, you bloody shut down or what? I did it! You killed me. No, I saved them. I saved everybody. I found my creators. That's good. What do you want, a statue? You got what you came for. Now get out of here. Thank you so much, Ren. I don't know how to repay you. I finally know who created me. I finally know where I came from. This means so much to me, and I have to thank you. Right, just keep fighting, kid. Okay, I can't wait to tell all my friends. Oi, maybe one more thing. Did you ever find a... Forget it. What? What did I ever find? What? Actually, Tell me, is there more to the story than what's on the chip? Just one small detail, but why don't you turn that record off? This is just between us, eh? Okay, Uncle Kubi, I'll tell you after I turn off I'm gonna kick your Pathfinder's berry lock. The end of my quest. I did it. The quest is finally over, thanks to my new friend Blisk, which I would never call Uncle Kubi again. I learned everything about my past. My creators seem so amazing and so smart and so amazing, and I got to help them save the Outlands. I always felt like there was a special connection between me and the Outlands, but I never thought it was part of something this big. I remember when I first woke up in my warehouse a long time ago. I didn't know who I was or what I was supposed to do. I guess I must have damaged my memory files on impact after I used the face runner, which spit me out on Solus. And it seems, considering that the explosion caused that crazy face rift thing on Olympus, everything from around that time is still a bit fuzzy, but I remember at that moment when I woke up and looked around, I felt at home. No matter where I went, cooking on Olympus, playing detective in Malta, or fighting in the games on Solus, I still felt at home. But with at home comes a family, and I didn't have one. I was alone. But now that's all has changed. All my searching, all my fighting, all my everything. It's just like what I learned from Rafe. She talked about what you put out in the world will always come back to you. Of course, for her, she meant it as a bad thing with her mean colleagues, but it can also be a good thing. I think I'm always kind and nice to people, and because of that, the world is kind and nice to me. Everybody I talked to in my quest was nice to me. Horizon just met me and she didn't hesitate to help me, which tells me a lot about her. And even Revenant helped. I think it's silly, funny, and scary to think about, but it's because of Revenant trying to scare me and showing me that sometimes people will stand in your way for no reason that I got the power and courage to talk to the other scary guy, Blisk. At least that's how I think about it. I know my friend Bangalore Loba Octane will call that perspective. There's different perspectives to everything. There's always a different side to the story and a different point of view to someone else's shoe. Like how Watson thought she saw a ghost when she was little, but from the other side of the story, it was Wraith all along. Life is full of so many tiny little details like that, and when you put them all together, you get yourself a beautiful picture of who you are and what you can be. My quest showed me my beautiful picture, which is made up of all these little details my creators put in my programming, like my love of ice cream and my love of friendship, and even my giant yellow smiley face that was all because of my creators. They may be gone, but they live on forever inside me. That's why I still have a big yellow smiley face on. Of course, I miss them and love them, but thanks to my friends, I got to know them. And that's what's really important. Mirage, my best friend, talked a little about that. When he lost his brothers, he and his wonderful mom were sad, but they found a way to deal with it together. I think that's the key right here. Togetherness. I may have started this quest alone, but I didn't finish it alone. I finished it with my friends, my brothers. As Gibraltar would say, he calls everybody that and treats them the same too because he values life. Same with Bloodhound. They treat life with pride and honor. It really gives me pride and honor knowing that all my friends value me enough to help. They all want me to succeed. Rampart pointed that out, and I'm glad she did because I almost let them all down. But I couldn't do that, not to them. Inside the games, we may be fighters who compete against each other, but on the outside, we're different. Even Caustic and Crypto, those two are far from friends, but I got to talk to both of them them at once, and they didn't even try to kill each other. Maybe because they found out they may be brothers or something. I'm not quite sure what happened there, but either way, they both helped me. They helped me learn my story. They all helped me find my creators. Dr. Emily Paquette, Dr. Conan Shelley, Dr. Alekan Gibraltar, Dr. Armin Fletcher, Dr. Anastasia Stay Oliveira, Professor Millie Delgado, Newton Summers, and of course, Dr. Ashley Reed. Even though she was evil and killed all my creators, I'm so happy I found them. I'm so happy I got to know who they were because, like Lifeline said one day, they helped me learn who I am. It was the research from my creators that opened my eyes to the real me. Those wonderful people gave me life, they gave me purpose, and now they help me see the one thing I always needed most in my life. My creators helped me find my path to my family, the one I had all along. I love my family. I can't wait to tell them my story. Exciting! That was for you, Millie. Objective completed. Saving memory log. Inner monologue deactivated. Archive file.
Still music keeps on turning me from the words that hurt my soul, removing doubts from my mind. Those long days passing by from the door, like late summer days slowly fade away, finding ways through the favorite tune played all day with my eyes